Shabbat Shalom, everyone. The Synagogue for the Performing Arts welcomes you to our June service. A little different, but we'll do it and we're going to have fun. We're going to sing together, we're going to pray together, and we're going to feel the spirit of Shabbat. We'll come together as one heart, and at this time, we need that and we need each other more than ever. So join in song. You can actually find the supplement there on the synagogue site. You can print it up, or you can just follow along by looking at the words. So we sing Shalom Aleichem, welcoming each other in peace. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharit, Malachei Yona, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Yona, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei yona, mi melech malachei amlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Tzeitzvim l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei yona, mi melech malachei amlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. What a special time to celebrate Shabbat together. We nourish our souls and we nourish our spirit. And as we do the bracha over the already lit candles, we pray that God will bring light into the world and light into our lives, all renewed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos, everyone.
Welcome. It is so good to see you after all this time. And of course, the irony is I'm not actually seeing you directly the way I so look forward to, the way we see each other at all of our services. It made me think of the fact that the Torah begins with the statement that God created Adam, one person. The world begins with the creation of one person. And the rabbis deduced the lesson from this, Lefichach nivra Adam yechidi, human beings were created one to teach us that every person is a world unto himself. That's a lesson we've learned again and again in these last weeks, because as I said, normally I'm reading you all in a group. And now I'm reading you one or two, maybe three at a time. But what it really makes me conscious of is how precious all of you are to each other, how precious all of you are to me. Over these last weeks, many of you have called me. I've had phone conversations with many people from our congregation. I miss you. We miss each other. We are a community. We are a religion and a community. It's always been a unique aspect of Judaism. As Ruth says when she converts to Judaism, your people shall be my people, your God shall be my God. Amech, Ami, Elohayach, Elohai. I'm so happy we're together today again as a congregation. with our cantor, it's Judy Fox, our president, David Gorel, and you're all very precious. So I'm wishing you all a very good Shabbat Shalom. We will now begin our service with L'cha Dodi. Please join with Cantor Fox.
Likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabla. Likrat Shabbat lechu b'necha ki mikor habracha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabla. Hitoveri Kibarech Kumiori Uriori Shir Taberi Kabod Adonai Alayv Nikla. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabla. Boi b'shalom Ateret b'ala Gam b'simcha ובצלה תוך המוני עם סגולה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת nekabla. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat nekabla. We celebrate our community's connection to a higher power, a time to heal our spirit and our nourishing our soul. We celebrate our community's connection. Together as a community, we bless God's name as we inwardly pray for silence and the touch of blessings for guidance, good health, continued strength, and a spirit renewed of life to go forward. Lai, 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 Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Lai, 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 lai.
Shabbat Shalom and welcome. I'm David Gorel, President of the Synagogue for the Performing Arts. During these unprecedented times, we feel it is important to stay connected with you, our congregation, our family in any way possible. And although we may not be together physically, along with Rabbi Tulushkin and Cantor Fox, we are pleased to be able to share with you this virtual spiritual experience this evening.
In a moment, we will be reciting the Mishaberach prayer, the prayer for those who are ill and who, God willing, are healing. It's particularly poignant to recite the prayer at this time because so many have been ill, so many are healing, and certainly, as you know, I live in New York, and there's been a real terrible epidemic there, but I know how many people have been affected out here in Los Angeles as well. I'm going to first say the prayer as I do in English, and then I will say it in Hebrew, and I'll indicate at a point at which each of you individually should insert the names of people for whom you're praying. If by chance you know the person's Hebrew name and the name of their mother, so you can say them both, such as Abraham, son of Sarah, or Rachel, daughter of Sarah, however you choose to say it. Anyway, first to say the prayer in English. May he who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal, then we insert the name, and grant them a complete healing, a healing of body, of mind, of spirit, of soul, and let us say, Amen. Mm-hmm. Now in Hebrew, Mishaberach Avotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, Liyavarech Mirapeh. Now insert the name of the person for whom you're praying. V'yishlach lahem b'meirah, refuat ha'nefesh v'refuat ha'guf, l'chol eivarehem v'gidehem, b'toch shar cholei Yisrael v'cholei tevel, hashta v'agalah v'zman kariv, and omar amen. We turn now to the Shema, and first we sing together, and the cantor, I think, will then do it again. So now we don't have to chant it. Let's say together, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Please join with me now in reading in English the first paragraph, and then Cantor Fox will read it all with you in Hebrew. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. By the way, those last words, inscribe them on the doorpost of your house and on your gates, leads to one of the most famous of Jewish laws, and one that I think many of you, of course, are familiar with and know. That's the mezuzot, which contain these words and which are put on the doorposts of a Jewish home, and which are meant to symbolize how we're supposed to act when we go into the home. We see the mezuzah, tells us how to act when we go into the home, and how to act when we see the mezuzah as we leave the home, how to act there as well.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'afta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Shabbat Shalom. What Will Matter by Michael Josephson. Ready or not, someday it will all come to an end. There will be no more sunrises, no minutes, hours, or days. All the things you collected, whether treasured or forgotten, will pass to someone else. Your wealth, fame, and temporal power will shrivel to irrelevance. It will not matter what you owned or what you were owed. Your grudges, resentments, frustrations, and jealousies will finally disappear. So too your hopes, ambitions, plans, and to-do lists will expire. The wins and losses that once seemed so important will fade away. It won't matter where you came from or what side of the tracks you lived on at the end. It won't matter whether you were beautiful or brilliant. Even your gender and skin color will be irrelevant. So what will matter? How will the value of your days be measured? What will matter is not what you bought, but what you built. Not what you got, but what you gave. What will matter is not your success, but your significance. What will matter is not what you learned, but what you taught. What will matter is every act of integrity, compassion, courage, or sacrifice that enriched, empowered, or encouraged others to emulate your example. What will matter is not your competence, but your character. What will matter is not how many people you knew, but how many will feel a lasting loss when you're gone. What will matter is not your memories, but the memories that live in those who loved you. What will matter is how long you will be remembered, by whom, and for what. Living a life that matters doesn't happen by accident. It's not a matter of circumstance, but of choice. Choose to live a life that matters.
We now come to the silent Amida, where we have the opportunity to turn within, to open our hearts and bring our dreams, our hopes, and our prayers and all that we care for to God. We take a moment to pray for ourselves and those we love, and our silent prayers will be accompanied by a beautiful song of hope, of optimism, and forward feeling to go in life always.
If I forget, if I forget, if I forget the lessons that I learned in my darkest times, when all that I could do is cry and pray and turn my eyes to you. If I forget, if I forget, if I forget the moment when I turned to you, having no place else to go. If I forget what I'm supposed to know, then whisper to me gently, oh God, won't you remind me? A little nudge, a tap from right behind me. I won't be far. I beg you, God, please find me. If I forget, if I forget, if I forget how my much I need you still, just to feel your presence coming through the way I did when pain was all I knew. If I forget, if I forget, if I forget when things are going well, I promise I don't need another fall. I've learned enough to recognize your call, so whisper to me gently, God, won't you remind me? A little nudge, a tap from right behind me. I won't be far, I beg you, God, please find me.
Many of you are longtime members of the synagogue. Many of you have been here also for a long time. This is, I think, my 28th year. And obviously we've never had quite as strange and unusual period as we're going through now. But we're getting through this period, and things will eventually, sooner I hope rather than later, return to more normal. During this period, one of the projects that's been occupying me is something I want to write. I've mentioned the term before here on moral imagination. Tremendous advances were made in the last 100 years and more in science and medicine and technology because people have utilized the full resources of their intellectual imagination to solve problems that had previously been thought to be insoluble. In the moral sphere, the progress has been of a more mixed variety. People don't always fully exert themselves. But what I've been struck by recently is that during this coronavirus, I've been struck by some of the morally imaginative acts that I've come across. And if any of you think of more and others, I'd love to hear about them. There was an incident in New York, it was reported in the newspapers, of a pizza place that had to close. It was doing such low business. But then the owners decided to go ahead. They weren't going to continue to do a commercial business with people coming in. It was in any case illegal for people to sit in a restaurant. But they've been producing 500 pizzas a day and sending them out to healthcare workers at the various hospitals in the area. Their landlord was so moved by what they were doing that he announced he was not going to collect any rent for as long as this lockdown was continuing. And I thought, of course, of the wonderful teaching in Pirkei Avot, the ethics of the fathers, mitzvah goreh mitzvah, one good deed brings another in its stead. In other words, it's not only coronavirus that's contagious, good deeds can also be contagious. I'll give you another example. Those who suffered the worst sort of losses, deaths, have had a very painful experience of not even being able to attend a funeral. Sometimes in some localities they'll allow 1, 2, 3 people to come to the cemetery. Sometimes people weren't able to come at all. One of the Jewish traditions many of you might be familiar with, probably are, is that at the conclusion of a burial, people form 2 lines. All the people who've come to comfort the mourners form 2 lines. The mourners walk down the middle, and people call out phrases of comfort to them. It's to remind people that at this time of great loneliness that they are not alone, that there are other people who really care about them. But obviously, people aren't coming to cemeteries now, you can't do it. So in one synagogue in New York, I heard about this from a friend of mine, Sarah Hurwitz, who's a wonderful writer. And Sarah heard in that synagogue, mourners, people who wanted to comfort the mourners came in many, many cars to the synagogue parking lot. They stayed inside their cars, and they formed 2 lines of cars facing each other, and the mourners drove by, opened their windows, and people poured out words of consolation to them. In other words, what they did remind us that even when nothing can be done, something can still be done. And we always have to remember that, because otherwise we lose sight and we just simply give up. Another case that I heard of, an 88-year-old man, his wife was hospitalized. There was no way he could go see her. So he actually hired a truck. He went and looked it up, 88-year-old man. He looked up, he found trucks that are hired by people like telephone linesmen who have to get very high up to fix telephone wires. And what happens is they get into the truck and then it elevates them. This man got elevated to the 3rd floor of where his wife was so he could knock on the window and just wave at her. In other words, when nothing can be done, something can still be done. That's what I mean by moral imagination. One of the things that motivated me was this comment I saw, not a comment, an anecdote about a doctor who was teaching a medical class. And he said, you can never ask people, you can never tell people things that will cause them to give up all hope. Human beings need hope. And a student in the class, somewhat arrogant, probably young medical student said, no, doctor's obligation is to be truthful and to tell people exactly what their situation is. The doctor said to this young man, he said, I actually think that attitude disqualifies you from being a doctor. I want you to go downstairs, go to the dean of the medical school and tell him that I want you expelled. The kid was obviously in utter shock. The professor then said, no, I'm serious. I want you out of this class. I want you to go down to the dean. The kid had no choice. He got up and started walking out the door. Before he could get out, the professor said, okay, you can sit down now. He said, I just wanted you to experience for 1 minute what it is like to be deprived of all hope. At this time of great problems, we can't be deprived of hope. I'm not going to mention the woman's name. It's a woman who's come here often, a very dear friend of mine. When her husband was diagnosed with a very rapidly advancing leukemia, and his life expectancy was very short, he was so susceptible to any visitors coming in and to getting, sick, that you had to come in, this was even well before the coronavirus, but you had to come in fully covered up. So before she would enter the room, she would always knock on the window of the room, and he could look up and see her face, because she didn't want him to only see her dressed up with her face covered. Even when nothing can be done, something can be done. The wearing of masks usually means that we're distancing ourselves from people. Today, the wearing of masks shows our love for people. We don't want them to get sick. May we all continue to love each other profoundly and deeply during this period, and may good things come out of us, and good things in our character. We can't necessarily control the outside environment. We can control we can't control how we behave. Thank you so much. We are now about to recite the Mourner's Kaddish. Our hearts go out to those families and friends who have lost loved ones. Our hearts go out to ourselves for the loved ones we have lost. And our hearts go out very much to those loved ones who were lost for the suffering and illness that they endured. And we're not only thinking of those who were lost to illness, we're also thinking of those lost to human evil as well. The Kaddish concludes with a prayer for peace, which is so needed during these very turbulent and chaotic times. Please join with me. As you know, my tradition is I like to recite the Kaddish somewhat slowly, because obviously there are people who have trouble with the pronunciation. If you have the Kaddish in front of you, please rise, and we will say it together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divra kirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach li'olam u'lolmei almaya. Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shemei dekutsha brichu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'yalma v'yimru Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol Yoshrei Tevel v'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom b'romav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol Yoshrei Tevel v'yimru Amen.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol latet gedula liotzer breshit shalo asanu kigoye aratzot velo samanu kemishbechot hadama shalo sam chelkenu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. We started our service this evening with Shalom Aleichem, greeting each other in peace. We now sing Oseh Shalom again, another tefillah for peace. We need peace so desperately all over the world, abroad, here in the United States, at home, and most of all within ourselves, so that we can have peace among each other that will spread all over the world. Oseh Shalom b'romav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Shalom.
I'd like to thank everyone who made this evening possible. Executive Director Cookie Miller, Ritual Vice President Susie Ross, Dara and Frank Petnato for editing this program together, Howard Fine for his reading, Shira Fox, Cantor Judy's daughter, for her beautiful rendition of If I Forget, lyrics by Jana Michaels, music by Diana Warshawski, produced and directed by Marilyn Kay, and accompanist David Kamener. And as always, our spiritual dynamic duo, Rabbi Joseph Telushkin and Cantor Judy Fox. From myself and the entire board of directors at the SFTPA, you are all in our hearts, and we hope to see you very, very soon. Be well and stay safe. Shabbat Shalom.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'rotzavanu Shabbat kodsho v'ava rotzon hinchilanu Zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim ki vanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. לחיים. Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey, hey. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Yoy, boy, 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 bim, bam. Bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, good Shabbos.